Strap in and strap on. Wow, in this webisode, we're going to be taking a look at 3 extreme price fluctuations that we could be seeing with Bitcoin. Guys, one of these you've heard before, but definitely these other 2 are absolutely huge and potentially massive. Has Bitcoin actually just cemented a triple top here on the daily chart? We'll show you some evidence and what exactly that would mean if in fact that is what happened. We did get that symmetrical triangle break, but guys, the price did not even go 10% above what it should have, so this also is indicative of something else on these charts that we'll show you. One good sign that we can point to is that bounce off of this 6-year structure line, which we actually talked about a few days ago in that episode. And even more importantly, potentially, if there isn't a triple top on the daily chart, is there in fact a much bigger triple top on the weekly chart? We'll show you why that's a little less likely, especially because of one factor here, but based on the requirements of a triple top, this could be a little bit more likely than anybody else is seeing. Wow, and for the people that might be wondering about a potential inverse head and shoulders, let me play you a clip from a week ago. It was back in March. So again, if we got one more area here, and that almost on these bigger time frames looks like, that would be a really ugly inverse head and shoulders. And guys, on the weekly chart, potentially, are we still setting up for one of the biggest breakouts of all time? We have some extremely important bullish scenarios, but some also extremely frightening bearish scenarios that we have to show you the exact breakdown targets if those bearish scenarios actually come true. We will know if we get a certain price swing to a level that we'll talk about in this video. Wow, take a look at this. This Bitcoin indicator bets that Bitcoin will not fall below the $10,000 level after this date actually coming up extremely soon. We'll get into when that is and also some specific price targets and why this indicator is very trusted in the space. We actually talked about this, okay, on May 22nd, almost 2 weeks ago. So we'll talk about that indicator. We will define a triple top and specifically if this pattern is truly in one or if it's not. And as well, guys, the creator of the Bollinger Bands, John Bollinger, actually saying, be cautious here. And he's actually expecting the price to swing the other way. So without any further ado, let's get into these charts. Well, butter my biscuits, guys. Welcome back to another extremely Bitcoin webisode, guys. We have a lot to get into today. Price action is on a crucial point. It's a little odd to take a look at because there's a lot of indecisiveness. Clearly, there was some manipulation when it comes to getting liquidating those longs. Yesterday, we saw that classic price pattern that you guys, I'm sure you've heard about multiple times in the past 24 hours, but it was pretty spectacular to see. It happens very often. It's something that you need to be aware of as of the last few years. This hasn't always been the case, but definitely wild swings in Bitcoin's price. Sometimes it boils down to when everyone expects a certain thing to happen, that doesn't happen. So we have a lot to get into on these charts. And guys, as well, I did just want to say we actually added the actual charts that we use in these videos to T4 as well. So guys, if you're already enrolled, make sure to go over and just check those out. Okay, you can see the live version. You can manipulate them. Those are included now. Okay, we've been adding a lot of stuff. Very cool stuff. And guys, if you want to enter for these ledgers, make sure to smash the comments, dings, turn on subscribes. And guys, we've been just absolutely smashing the likes lately. So make sure to go below, and if you haven't already, I don't care where your finger's been, take it and smash that like. Wow. So guys, let's take a look here first on Bitrix's chart. You can see here, this has been a very hard level to break above. We've talked about it many times when we talk about setting a new higher high, which we've been failing to do. We just failed to do it by less than like $50 within the last 48 hours, going all the way back to February of 2020. And prior to that, guys, it was October of 2019. This has been, I mean, look at this. In fact, the distance between both of these, all 3 of these actually, is basically the exact same distance, about roughly 3 months in between, about 3.5 months in between each one of these. So on these charts, every 3.5 months, it looks like we come back up to this almost $10,500 level and just get rejected. So is this a triple top? So one thing we have to take a look at, let's actually just read what a triple top is, some very basics here. We're not going to cover every single sentence here, but I have 2 highlighted that I think are important. Triple tops may occur on any time frame, all time frames, but in order for the pattern to be considered a triple top, it must occur after an uptrend. So let's see if we meet that. Okay, so this is where it gets a little debatable because this clearly came after a massive uptrend right here from 3,000 to 14,000. But these tops kind of directly came after this descending triangle. So we had a descending triangle here that broke down. So I mean, these tops technically came directly after a downtrend, but also on the more macro time frame, it came after a massive uptrend. So that's where I think it's a little debatable and it loses a little bit of credibility. But let's continue reading and see if it meets the other criteria here. So it says here the opposite of a triple top is a triple bottom. So let's see here how a triple top works. A triple top pattern occurs when the price of an asset creates three peaks at nearly the exact same price level, right around that $10,400, $10,500 level. The level of the peaks is resistance. The pullbacks between the peaks are called the swing lows. Now this is when the breakout would happen to the downside if it did. After the third peak, if the price falls below the swing lows, the pattern is considered complete and traders watch for a further move to the downside. So the swing lows on this chart here, you guys, I mean, because of what happened back in March, the swing lows are incredibly, I mean, this low is incredibly low here. So again, I think we can rule out for the most part the fact that this is a triple top. The only thing that this really has in common with the charts is that the resistance is completely horizontal. Now you can see that same exact pattern here on the zoomed out chart. These are the three levels here. This is the first top, this is that second one, and here's the third. You can see they're at the exact same level. So when you look at this macro chart, there was no major resistance right here. It didn't even get up to here, which was around the 11,000, 12,000 even, 11.5K at the time back in October. So you can see these past two tops of the three tops were right on this horizontal line. But again, guys, this one got the break above here. Now, this is where the real indecisiveness comes in because literally, my video yesterday, I was literally saying the one thing we don't want to see is a quick wick back down like we got back in the summer of 2019 and exactly a year ago. And that is exactly what we got. So I said in yesterday's video, like the first 2 minutes before it actually happened live on the video, I said, you know, the worst thing we could see if this is not going to be a true breakout is if we get a complete rejection right back down to the line. And that's literally exactly what happened. If we go to the daily chart, we can actually show you just how quick it was. You can see, same thing here. We had quick wicks back in the summer of 2019, in July, in June of 2019, and we just got that same exact thing here. So for one, I don't necessarily think we're going to get a quick rejection, and I'll show you exactly why I think that. I think this pattern still has room to play out, and I still think that there is opportunity that this could break up to the upside within the next 2 weeks, and I want to show you that on the daily chart here. So let's just finish this up, and we'll transition over. We can get rid of these triple tops on this chart here because I think we kind of ruled that out for now. But let's actually show you this. So one of the main areas, we obviously got to bounce right at 9,200, guys. If you've been watching, 9,200 and 8,800 are by far the biggest two levels of the past few weeks, and that is exactly where we got our support. So it's showing that this pattern still has some robustness left, I think, and currently we're actually still at the top of this potential symmetrical triangle here on the daily chart. So we break out, get rejected, slam all the way back down, find support right on 92, right here. We did not even come down to that $8,800 level, guys. If you guys have been watching, you guys know I've been saying I want to see 8,800 I've been saying this for like 2 weeks, okay? All the way back down to here, coming back to the bottom of the triangle. We didn't even come back to the bottom of the triangle. So does that support the conclusion that we could actually still just get a breakout? Again, the chances of a true breakout now are a little bit less because we got that first fail, but we 100% could still end up bouncing off the top of this triangle, guys. And one of the reasons we also have that on here is just because of the last few weeks, this area has been insane. Clearly, over time, this thing, you know, you trade there forever and you bounce off of it and spend weeks and weeks, especially on these longer time frames, guys, that becomes insanely strong. Same thing here. We've been getting rejected at this same key Fibonacci level for the past about a year. We just talked about those triple tops on this other chart. But guys, the reason that level is so strong, we'll get into exactly that. The reason it's so strong is because from the high of 20,000 US dollars back at the end of 2017, beginning of 2018, to the low so far on these charts where we plummeted out of that descending triangle that took about a year to form, we broke from $6,000 to $3,000. From that $20,000 high to the $3,000 low, the most important, the biggest Fibonacci we have on this entire chart right now, this is the golden pocket right in here. And it's between the levels of 10,200, 10,200 to about 9,600. So you wonder why that's such a strong area. Well, I mean, that's exactly why. Now, before the Litecoin halving back in 2019, when we skyrocketed from 3,000 to 14,000, we broke that. For a little bit, we found resistance right above the golden pocket at the 786. From the 786, we topped out, found support right on the golden pocket, for months and months. You can see that here. And then we plummeted. Failed to get it back above it in October, failed to get above it in February, and just failed to get above it yet again. So still, without a doubt, the most important level, besides the fact we have this descending resistance right here, that's huge. This is just as big. So we have this descending resistance here on this symmetrical triangle, but we also have the Fibonacci, which has just been so hard to break. What the heck? Let's do it this way. Okay, we'll take the Fibonacci on this chart, and we'll do the same thing. We go from the high of 20,000 to 3,000 US dollars. Check it out, guys. You can see why all three tops are right there. You can see it here, here, here. This golden pocket is just insanely hard to break above. But I mean, by far, when we break this, I'll say this as well. If we actually break this concretely, because that's where we found our resistance there, it's where we failed. If we can zoom in, I'll show you. We broke a little bit, but look exactly where it failed. Okay, this is on the daily chart. We have 2 daily candles, went right there, like barely out of this golden pocket and got pushed back. But guys, I will say this, if we do break this, I don't think, a lot of people are probably expecting this. I think a lot of people would expect, well, the next big area of resistance will be around 786 because it makes sense, right? It's the Fibonacci. It's around the $13,000 level, 13,500 roughly, which is what a lot of people say is resistance as well. But what I personally think is that once this break actually does happen, if we get it to the upside, I don't think this is going to be that much of an area, guys. I think we're going to have a lot of momentum because this is all spring loaded. I feel like there's so much pressure in here that I think if this key level actually does break, I don't think it's going to be as simple as, well, this is the next Fibonacci level, this is our next resistance. I think we very likely have the opportunity that we actually blow past that if we actually do get a break out of here. But again, that's the big if. That's what we've been waiting and watching for and getting rejected on for months and years basically in this entire symmetrical triangle. And in terms of the charts, the last thing I want to say here, guys, is just this channel, which I absolutely love, and a lot of you guys requested it. That's why we also added that to T4 there in the section if you guys want to check out that chart. We bounced right on the 6-year structural trend line here, and currently we're in between these two. Not a lot of signals in terms of this chart right now in terms of small movements. That's why I think our next movement is probably going to be pretty substantial. I don't think we're just going to be having rather small moves again for too long. And even though the chances to the upside are a little less likely now, or the move will be a little less powerful maybe, I still think that there is a good chance that we get a break to the upside. Now, the exact figure to the downside, if we break 8.8K, I think we're going to go a lot lower then. Okay, guys, so if we break 8,800 right here, which is also, I mean, this is the level of support that goes back months and months, this second orange line, 92 and 88. If we break that here, which also, as of right now, perfectly lines up with the bottom of this line, we're going to go pretty low if we break that. So if you're a trader, anyone that's trading knows this. Basically, if you get a confirmation on the breakout, if you break it here and it goes lower, that's where people enter trades. Now, that's exactly why people, though, you have to be careful. That's exactly why people got wrecked on this break, because people were expecting as soon as this breaks, it's going to go really high, right? People start longing Bitcoin. Okay, we got a confirmed break. They say, wow, look at all the people that long. Shorted it right back down to the exact same area. So we have technical analysis, we have fundamentals, we have the psychology of the market. But you have to keep in mind as well, there's manipulation from the exchanges. So there's there's only like maybe 5 major factors that are going on. But there's so much to take into account when you're trading, when you're investing with everything. It's never just one thing. Okay, it's not as simple as symmetrical triangle breakout, boom, done. There's a lot of profit. That's not how it works. Unfortunately, the newest and one of the riskiest elements is the power these leverage exchanges have, and just exchanges in general. Huge, guys. So we're going to go into some details here with this very interesting indicator. One is a very bullish take that I want to talk about, and then we have a very, very bearish one. So make sure to stay tuned for these. So let's jump in here. This one by William Suberg on Cointelegraph. We're just going to go through like 2 or 3 highlighted key points right here. Jinxed it. The indicator bets Bitcoin won't fall below 10,000 US dollars by August. So it's called the lowest price forward is this indicator. It's called lowest price forward. Claims that after August this year, Bitcoin will never trade below $10,000 ever again. And it's actually gaining, and this indicator is gaining popularity among investors. So this is LPF for short, which is lowest price forward. In just 2 months' time, it's predicting Bitcoin will see $10,000 per coin for the last time ever. And then after that, after August, Bitcoin will never be under $10,000 again. So the LPF, which was previously known as the never look back price, makes price predictions for Bitcoin USD on a given date in the future. If the LPF trend holds, August 2020 will be the last time we see Bitcoin below 10,000 US dollars. The last notable thing here, in the last 3 years, we have had 9 $2,000 plus months. Okay. So the last 3 years, which is 36 months, 9 of those months, or 25% of those months, had over $2,000 price swings. Okay, absolutely massive. So 25% of the last 3 years have had huge price swings. And what they're saying here, in the future, we will be seeing 5-digit moves just like we're seeing that now. So you think a $2,000 move in a month is pretty big? Talk about a, in the future, $10,000 plus moves in a single month. That is what they're saying here, very likely coming up soon. So guys, then we have an article here by William Suberg on Cointelegraph. So John Bollinger created the Bollinger Bands. Briefly what he said, so this is a tweet from June 2nd. The Bollinger Bands indicator creator said the largest cryptocurrency's brief trip to 3-month highs was an anomaly. He said there's a head fake at the upper Bollinger Band BTUSD chart, time to be cautious or short. He's saying it's time to short. He said here, for John Bollinger, there was no reason for him to heed the hint that this week's breakout was genuine. What he's basically saying is he doesn't think this breakout was genuine, and we can't really disagree with him considering the fact that the breakout so far has been a little underwhelming and it has not completed a complete breakout. So guys, definitely make sure to drop your comments if you want to enter for these ledgers. We're probably giving away one very soon. I think I've been giving them away maybe every 4 days, so I think I got to slow it down a little bit. I'm getting a little nuts with these. So guys, make sure to smash the likes. The more likes we get, the more ledgers we give away. Huge. And drop your comment on what you think right now. There is still so much neutrality and so much indecision in the market. Everybody that got excited yesterday got immediately unexcited, I guess, because the exact level that we broke out to got us pushed right back down to it, okay? Opened and closed basically the same area on a 2-day time frame. So guys, as well, if you're in T4, make sure to check out these new charts that were uploaded as well as some of the new videos. And guys, if you're not in T4 already, definitely recommend checking it out. There's a lot of useful information here with trading, with accumulating, with altcoins. There's so much in here. You can take a brief look over here. The link is in the comments and in the description if you just want to look over and read through what the videos are, guys. Absolutely massive. Peace!